Very important right now for you to take 1 second and hit that like button. Help push us through the YouTube algorithm. And then it's also equally as important to pound on that bell notification, hit that bell notification and click all. That way you stay up to date on all my latest videos as the inflationary depression that I've been warning about. Opinions, because I am not a financial advisor. This is just my overall thesis of the market, right? And as we get into it now, you can see the XRP price is now sitting. VINCENZO'S Gold Crypto Investing with this quick morning update as the US dollar was extremely beaten down today. And then you can see it's had a little bit of a rally just like it did yesterday. And the cryptos were up significantly this morning, and now they're starting to tame just ever so slightly like they did yesterday. And if you look at the XRP, you can see where we're at still. We've continued on to this uptrend that we formed there. We're making a run at the 100-day moving average in the 4-hour time frame. And the critical area that you need to break is that area. You need to stay above the 200, break the 100 in blue, and make a run up here to that 50 cents. And then some fun and excitement could start to happen to where you could quite possibly pump your way all the way up here to 66 cents as I am walking through a parking lot here in Fort Romeo in the great state of Michigan under a cloudy, gloomy, rainy morning on this almost the exact midpoint, just past the midpoint of fall, approaching 2/3 of the way through fall as the month of October ends. You can see the cryptos like we thought over the weekend, and you heard it here first on VINCENZO'S Gold Crypto Investing. We were saying a possible pump this week, and we're getting it. And some of the coins, Ethereum up as much as 18% since the weekend, right? Bitcoin's up about 6-7%. And that's why we think we may make a run up here still. And then you could quite possibly even come up here, which is the lower. If we had a out of 10 chance, there's about a 2 out of 10 chance in the next 10 days you come up there, but there's about a 4.5 out of 10 in the next 10 days you eventually retest that, because that's your major underneath support that we went over ad nauseum. And this is the major upper resistance that you got to break to try to run up into here, but you got cut down here the first few times, back here in September, and then back here in October you got rejected. So that's what we're looking at in the XRP. The Ethereum that we talked about over the weekend, when the Ethereum price, watch that video over the weekend, when the Ethereum price was in here, or this weekend it was back in here, we were talking about a nice rally in the Ethereum price, maybe coming all the way up here to the 1689.58, right? And now look at it from just the mean of where it was at. It's up at current price 17%, 16.83%, showing you how old Vincenzo was warning you. I am the crypto bear, but I am bullish when the time calls for it. And this weekend on Saturday and Sunday, I could see the bullishness and the bullish sentiment where people were getting dovish on the Fed, thinking the Fed would be hawkish towards maybe lowering or taming inflation rates that they were raising. And the cryptos and the equity markets actually went out ahead of the cryptos, along with the gold market on Friday, and that gave us a little indicator what the market sentiment was. What the market sentiment was and what the overall market, the state of the market could be coming into this week. And we've been rewarded with our fortitude and patience and observance of the market and what's going on around it. And Ethereum responded, and now we're almost up to that 1689.58, which is the bottom part of this red support resistance box, which is the volume indicator, the mean of the volume of the coin. And that's why we think it's going to get chopped down there. But that was a hell of a call, going out on a limb with just the gut feeling and the technicals and the news, and putting it into our probability-based system and algorithm that we use here. And down here, we called it right in here. Watch that video from Saturday and Sunday. And it took off to the upside, and I think we're going to eventually hit this. And then on the way back down, when these moving averages start to turn, the 50 in red, you can see the 50 in red's about to cross from underneath the blue and the green, that's bullish. And when they go from underneath it to above it, that's bullish. When the short-term moving averages are above the long-term moving average, it's very bullish. But on the way down now, as these start to come up, when the price comes down and relaxes, you want to hold that to remain bullish, right? If you cross back through them, it's going to likely lead you back down here, because we do know eventually, once this little rally ends, whether we top out at 1689 where we forecasted, or we come even higher up into here, you're eventually going to end up back down here at 1089.95, right? But that's a pretty good call by Vincenzo, giving you that heads up. Gave you about a 48-hour lead time, right, on that. Same thing with the Bitcoin price. You can see we were sitting down here for quite some time since the great dump, holding a double bottom from back here, and then we had a little rally up into there, what I think is a bear flag. Then we crashed out of it, right? And then we've been sitting here for quite some time. But you can see what's going on here now is we had that little pump here, and it's more than a little pump. From this weekend, the price was up in here, and we were telling you could come down a little bit, but then the price was going to come up. And right now it's up 11% from its high, but 9.97% at current price. And that's a good call by Vincenzo. Now these moving averages you're starting to see around, see how they were going extremely down. Then they started to level off. Now they're starting to go up. And you can see here, if we zoom in and isolate in on this 4-hour time frame, look what's going on here as we zoom in here. Oh, that's right. You can see it making that turn to the upside, right? But more importantly, look at something that's subtly there, but if you're not paying attention to it, you won't see it. See the red 50-day moving average? Look at it. It's crossed the 100-day moving average in blue right there. And in a few hours, it could cross the 200-day in green. And if it crosses, right, that's a bullish sign. When the short-term moving average comes from below it, crosses to above it, that's bullish, right? And now what we're looking for is the volume, but the volume still hasn't really come back in yet. You can see the volume if we start to scroll out through June, July, August, September, and October volume. The volume is still ever so slightly declining. You can see the mean used to be here, then the mean was kind of up in there a little bit. See that? It's just like stepping down in a step down fashion. But that is something to pay attention to, as we've had a miniature uptick, but you can see the sell volume back here was more. The other pump volume back there was a little more. But if we can turn these moving averages up in the short term, we can get a short squeeze like we were talking about, and we could come up there to the 24,837.74. And that's what we're looking at into here, and that's what I'm liking, what I'm seeing. And we're at work. We'll give you some more updates here a little bit later. Like, subscribe, and share.